hand speed that he had once before. I have done many of his championship fights, and I tell you that in the 18 or 19 years I've done boxing, along with Marvin Hagler, he is probably the one boxer that I have respected the most over the course of the years for being a true champion, fighting good people and fighting regularly.
And Al, one thing about him is that you mentioned he's had such a successful relationship with his family in boxing, and his brother in particular. That's very unusual, but it has worked for them right down the line.
It really has, and Danny Carbajal will accompany him into the ring. He's been his trainer, his mentor, has helped him handle his finances in life, and has kept Michael Carbajal really on the straight and narrow. He retired for 18 months. He came back now to win 3 straight among those 48 wins. And tonight is the night where we'll find out if that comeback was ill-advised or not.
Well, there's his record, 48-4. Always a showman, always gives 100%. We'll see if he's able to come back. And as Al was mentioning, this is another step up from the 3 comeback fights that he has had.
Yeah, there's no question Arce is twice as good a fighter as any of the 3 people that he fought. And so for Carbajal, he came into hostile territory to face a very good young champion.
There's Jorge Arce. The crowd will acknowledge his presence greatly. He's a bubbly personality is one way to put it. Said he was born to fight, born to be a champion, born to be a star. He showed up tonight. He had his headphones on. He was listening to music. Very calm, and he's entering the ring right now. Let's listen to the crowd. I am digging the sparkly shoes he has on tonight.
Not too many boxers come in with tails. Nice outfit.
There's his record, 20 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 15 knockouts. He is the WBO junior flyweight champion and a local hero here in Tijuana. Here's the tail of the tape, Al. We've already mentioned the respect you have for Carbajal and his great career, but he is giving up 10 years in age, and there's virtually no reach advantage one way or the other.
And Carbajal very happy that Arce is not a taller fighter than him, and also not a lot shorter like maybe Jake Lala was, the last man who beat Carbajal, who is only 4'11". Here you see the rules. We've been looking at them all night. They remain the same basically as the other rules. These will be WBO rules, and those will be what will dictate this bout.
Right now, let's send it up to our ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Damas y caballeros, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, along with Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, present World Championship Boxing sanctioned by the Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico Boxing Commission and the World Boxing Organization. WBO President Francisco Barcarcel. The Tijuana organization president is Senor Roberto Magana. The 3 judges at ringside. Scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Ruben Garcia, Levi Martinez, and Benjamin Rendon. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, working for the 55th time in a world title belt, Raul Caiz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, y ahora, damas y caballeros, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship of the World. En la esquina azul, in the blue corner, wearing white with red, vistiendo blanco con rojo, pesando 108 libros. At 108 pounds, a 1988 Olympic silver medalist. Now, as a professional, his record stands at 48 victories, 32 by knockout, with 4 losses and 4 world titles. Damas y caballeros, de Phoenix, Arizona, presentamos el retador, el 4 veces campeón mundial, Manitos de Piedra, Michael Carbajal. In la esquina roja, in the red corner, vistiendo blanco con rojo y verde, wearing white with red and green. Pesando 108 libras también, also at 108 pounds, and his record as a professional, 20 victories, 15 by knockout with only 2 defeats and 1 draw. Damas y caballeros, presentamos el campeón mundial mini mosca de Tijuana, Baja California, México, Jorge Travieso Arce.
Hágale caso a las instrucciones. El huesito para arriba. Suban los golpes. Buena suerte a los dos. Keep your punches up. Good luck to both of you guys.
Final instructions from the referee. 12-round scheduled bout for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship of the world. A fight that we've been waiting to see, waiting to learn more about Jorge Arce. And Jorge's going to be ready for this fight, I would say.
Well, and he has an interesting strategy coming in. He says he's going to box for the first 4 rounds, then try and go after Michael Carbajal. Given the size of this ring, I wonder if he'll continue to do that or if he will stand in front of Carbajal.
He says he's not interested in a decision. A knockout is much better. We'll see. As here we go, round 1.
When Carbajal lost his last fight, the baby Jake Matlala, just about 2 years ago, he retired after that. It was a surprising win. Matlala was a good fighter, very short fighter, one of the shortest, I believe the shortest in boxing. Just Carbajal couldn't deal with his hand speed, so be good to look early to see if the hand speed of Arce bothers him. Good right by Carbajal.
Good right, had him off balance a little bit, but it did get in out. Arce coming back a little bit, and look at Carbajal. That left got in just a tad on the right side of his head. And we have a little mark on the forehead of Arce.
And one important thing to remember when you watch Michael Carbajal box, even in his heyday, he was not the quickest starter on the planet and took some shots early, even in the great Gonzalez fight that we showed you highlights of in our pre-fight show. He was knocked down twice by Gonzalez before he ended up winning that fight.
Once again, Carbajal showing some quickness with the right, and Arce coming back with a combination of his own. I think they're going to go at it now. That's my guess.
We'll see a lot of good action in this fight, a lot of, I think, good exchanges between both fighters. You know, Carbajal has such experience. He's 15-4 in World Championship matches. And Arce himself, of course, is a new champion who has only been in 2 World Championship matches, won the title from Juan Cordoba, and then defended it against Salvatore Fani in Italy. Went to Italy for his first defense after winning the title here in Tijuana.
Continues to try to load the right up, followed up a little uppercut to Carbajal. He likes that combination.
So far, Michael has not been able to get off very well, throwing 1 punch at a time. And of course, when you look at veterans in a comebacking mode, that's one of the things you look for. Are they capable of throwing combinations, or are they just singular punches?
Oh, low blow, very low.
They could have given Carbajal some time, and should have, but the referee just said, well, okay, go ahead. Easy for you to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Good body work, though, and it didn't deter Arce from going downstairs.
15. About 10 seconds left, round 1. We're going to take you inside Carvajal's corner at the end of this round. Nice right.
That's Danny Carbajal. They're getting ready to talk to him.
As soon as he throws that jab, you gotta let go of that right hand. Then with it throw, okay? You ain't got nothing to do.
Well, you heard Danny Carbajal say, throw that right hand. After he throws the jab, they want him to counter with it. These two men have had a wonderful relationship. It's rare in boxing that family relationships work, but it's working in the Simpsons.
Well, there's not going to be a lot of secrets in that corner, that's for sure.
That, of course, is Jorge Arce, who did what he promised he would do, and that is box in the first round. He didn't go after Carbajal.
Well, he said 1 through 4 he's going to box. Another interesting fact about Arce people might not know, he talks about how he's ambidextrous and feels like he's very versatile. And at one time he was a baseball pitcher, and when his right arm got tired, he started pitching with his left arm, and he was able to relieve himself, a self-made reliever.
You've done a lot of baseball. I've never seen that.
I've never seen it.
The interesting thing he said, the only thing was the coach had to bring out a different glove.
Yeah, instead of changing pitchers, he had to change gloves.
Good right hand there by Arce.
And the crowd's starting to heat up a little bit. They want to see a little more out of their young champion.
Early on, one of the discouraging things, I think, for Carbajal is he's really not throwing many combinations. And in his best days, he was capable of doing that.
Arce seems intent on working the body a little bit and doubling up with some combinations. And very smooth-looking young fighter so far.
And Carbajal not working well on the inside. That is something he has always been known to do. Good body work.
Yes,
I'll tell you what, Jorge Arce has as good a left hook to the body as you would want to see in a fighter. He can dig that punch down there.
Don't want to overstep it, but remember a man named Chavez who used to be able to do that pretty
good. Oh,
good.
he was very good left hook to the body. Another Mexican champion, of course. Tonight, 3 different Mexican champions on display. We saw Diego Morales, the younger brother of Eric, the junior bantamweight champ, defend his title. And here is Arce, and then we're going to see Eric Morales later. Another low
There's
blow.
Another low blow from the left hand of Arce, about 120 left. The referee gives him a warning, and they step back in. And the crowd didn't like it, but it was, as they say, south of the border, definitely.
The question is, will the referee have the courage to take a point away if things continue going this way? Raul Calles, the referee.
Carbajal continuing to absorb punishment and not really able to mount any kind of strategy so far, as Arce continues to double up on his punches and work downstairs and then try to come over the top. Good foot movement around the ring, and there's the right hand that got in, and you can see that Carbajal's blinking a little bit of swelling on his left eye.
So far, the strategy that Arce laid out for himself has worked very well. Good right hand by Carbajal. He's been able to box Carbajal and still land while he's boxing because Carbajal has been coming to him and Arce has been counter-punching pretty well. That was the best move of the fight by Carbajal.
Step back, missed the punch, and now he's inside like you were talking about.
And he's working. He's working good with the right hand, and he's counter-punching well.
10 seconds left, round number 2. Well, look at this, Arce trying to put on a little rally here.
Very interesting round, and that probably is a portent of things to come. Those kind of exchanges we'll see more of as this fight continues.
Okay, let's send you to Mario, who's standing by with the challenger tonight, Renate Hamili.
Thank you, Alan. For the most part, things have been very quiet here. He's been stretching, trying to work out a little bit. It's not easy winning here in Tijuana. 15,000 people. He's the underdog. How are you going to get 15,000 people out of your ear and out of your head?
Anong gagawin mo para mapaniwala mo itong taon to na ikaw ay mas magaling kaysa kay Morales?
Eh, sa ngayon, hindi ko na iniisip yung mga nanonood. Yung iniisip ko ngayon, talagang madala ko yung corona pauwi. Dahil matagal ko nang pinaghirapan to at naasahan na mapalaban sa World Championship.
He's only thinking of bringing home the title to the Philippines because he's been waiting for this title fight for a long, long time.
Odd makers have Jamili, underdog, 30-1. Back to you guys.
Well, 30-1's pretty strong odds against him, but there's a lot of question marks in that fight. And this fight, we're going to see what happens in round 3, Al. You see Carbajal starting to find himself a little bit early.
Yeah, he's become counter-punching more effectively as Arce comes to him, and Michael has found the right hand, which has always been a good weapon for him.
Now he's in the corner where he doesn't want to be, and Arce still working with the body.
Carbajal wants to counter-punch from that posture, but wasn't able to do it in that instance.
Not a lot of room to work with up there in this ring. I tell you, Arce's aggressive. He's still throwing.
And doing what he wanted to do, showing some movement. And as small as this ring is, and I guess when you got small guys, you can still box in a 16 to 18-foot ring, but Arce's making effective use of his movement. You know, Michael Carbajal has always had trouble with movement. Chiquita Gonzalez won the last 2 fights against him after he had lost that first one by moving. Good combination by Arce.
Strong right followed by left, and he's going at it again, right to the head, and the left right at the end got in. Carbajal wiping off his left eye a little bit. That could start to bother him as we go along. Another one a little low from Arce. But those combinations are starting to add up, Al.
Well, Arce working both the body and head. Here's where Michael Carbajal should be a little more active. And I think the body work of Arce is really bothering him.
It seems to be, and he seems to land it at will. There's a right hand that got in on the jaw. And here we go as Arce steps out. You never know when they're just going to start engaging. There's another right and an uppercut. And now he's got him in a little bit of trouble, but Carbajal fighting back. And Arce, with good movements, able to step away from the punches.
I'll tell you what Jorge Arce is doing, though, that he shouldn't be doing. He's leaving himself open for the lead right hand, and even though he's winning most of these exchanges, Arce is one right hand away from being in trouble in this fight because he's wide open to that punch, and Carbajal's just barely missing it.
You can bet Carbajal knows that's his opportunity.
A little swelling underneath the left eye of Arce, but a very, very interesting third round and a good one for Arce.
Coming up on 25 seconds left, round 3. Carbajal unable to exact a little bit of damage here. There's another. He's working that body, Al. You can feel it from over here.
And finally, Carbajal himself went to the body. At a certain point, though, a lot of those are low. I think Caiz could take a point away. Good round, interesting round, and one in which Arce got a lot done.
Arce got a lot done. I don't know, maybe Carbajal.
You have to keep moving to your right. Combinations, you got to keep throwing combinations. That's what you need to do. No jabs, just combinations. You got to take advantage of it. Every time you throw a jab, follow up. Please follow my advice.
Here is Arce in the last round using the jab, the good combination punching, and that, of course, is the difference. A young fighter who's able to throw combinations, and right now, Carbajal isn't. However, Michael had his moments. There's the counter right hand that I talked about. That's the punch, if there is one in this fight, that Carbajal is really pinning his hopes on right now.
Round 4 of a scheduled 12-rounder for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship. Arce continues to be extremely busy. He said he would box for 4, Al. Good foot movement. And
one thing he has tasted, though, oh my, nice right hand. See, Jorge Arce is very, very lackadaisical with his left hand. And Carbajal has always had a great counter right, and he is making the most out of his opportunities when Arce throws the left hook and leaves his left hand down. See, look at the right. Carbajal so badly wants to land that punch.
He may get his opportunity. Arce has been affected with the straight right there on the chin.
Really, it's come down to this. Can Carbajal land one shot that will hurt Arce enough so he can start landing combinations, or will Arce's combinations wear him down? Great body work by Jorge Arce. I mean, he does an excellent job of working both downstairs and upstairs.
Doubled up on his left right there, upstairs, downstairs. Carbajal taking some punishment in this fight, trying to look for his opportunities, as he said. But I don't know if there's going to be that many there. He's going to have that clean shot that's provided. Arce likes to double up on that left, upstairs, downstairs.
And you know, it's a good punch, but he lets it sit downstairs too long. There he tries an uppercut from long range. These are mistakes that Carbajal told us today he thought he could capitalize on. And from time to time he has, but not enough for him. This is a very interesting tactical fight, as well as one that's interesting and exciting to watch. Good punches landed, but a lot of good technique and good strategy going on as well.
Well, you can see the savvy of Carbajal, and of course nobody's seen more of his fights than you have. Well, there's an uppercut that landed
and
inside.
There's the right hand over it. Twice Carbajal was able to land it, but he's not hurting Arce with that punch now. Jorge Arce is has one very bad habit, and that is keeping that left hook down after look how he keeps it down after he throws it. That is really rough against a fighter who can counter you with the right hand. But still with that, Arce's winning these rounds because he's more active.
And as Carbajal starts taking measure of that, there's a good exchange inside from both fighters. 10 seconds left. Oh. Let's head over to Carbajal's corner right now.
Give me some water, give me some water.
Put them together, Michael. You gotta put them together, all right? Put them together. You throw that right hand, come back with the hook. You throw the hook, come back with the right hand. He's open right there. He's open. Ready. You just gotta put them together.
Don't get lost. Don't get lost in there. Those hooks, you got to keep throwing the hook. Down, but not that low.
Well, there you have it, Al. Throw that hook, but not that low. You've been saying it for the first 4 rounds. We're into round 5, and they see that he's leaving himself open.
Well, both corners understand what's going on very well. Danny Carbajal telling him throw the right hand when he throws that hook. They don't want Arce to stop throwing that hook in his corner, but they want to make sure he doesn't leave it down there. Now, if it were me and I was in Arce's corner and I was Jorge Arce, I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't throw that left hook to the body for another 3 rounds. I would throw jabs, straight right hands, and make Carbajal beat me a different way than throwing that counter right hand, because that's the only thing Carbajal has done effectively.
Well, he keeps coming with it, as you said, but he's trying to back it up with some combinations. And the reason Carbajal's not winning these rounds is just the activity of Arce.
See, and you could throw the hook to the head some, but just don't throw it downstairs as much. But we'll see. Still, Arce is winning these rounds. He's much more active than Carbajal.
He's much quicker. He still continues to throw it low. If it does happen, Al, I'll point out that you called it.
Okay.
I'll definitely point that out.
At 21, you can see that Arce is a fighter who clearly hasn't yet reached his peak, but is very well schooled, an excellent technician. And I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I've seen a young boxer committed to body work like he is.
And he's going with the jab now a little bit, too, just to mix it up some. Threw 3 in a row. And look at him coming back with that jab. Now he's working it. This is something we haven't seen, that technique so far.
And if you're going to face an older fighter, you really do want to work the body. And now you'll note Carbajal not able to counter that left hook to the body as much. There's the right again.
Yeah, the rights come in off the break. Able to throw off the break. but Arce's not afraid to get in there and mix it up either, if he has to.
Well, he said from the 5th round on he would be looking to go after Carbajal, and he has in this round.
Well, he laid the framework with the body work, and now he's coming back up top with some jabs and going straight in, and a very good game plan and a very bright fight so far.
And the big difference right now, and I think everyone can see it, is the hand speed. Carbajal not as quick as Jorge Arce. He's 10 years his senior. He has been through a lot of wars, and he's just not quite as quick as this youngster.
10 seconds left, round 5. Very nice round for Arce.
Is this round 6?
¿Todo bien?
Everything okay?
Here we go, round 6 of a scheduled 12-rounder. Can Carbajal find a way with a younger fighter, quicker fighter who just went right to work with a combination, doubling up on his left jab, stepping back, coming back in, landing some punches.
The confidence of Arce is building. This crowd is chanting his name. Just had a birthday, celebrated his 21st birthday on Tuesday, on July 27th. And he would love to make this just one big birthday party with the 15,000 fans here at the Bull Ring in Tijuana.
Well, he made no secret of the fact that he would like to provide a knockout for the local fans. He says he doesn't trust the judges. About half of what he says is funny anyway when you interview him. He's a very charming personality, and look at that, and a very talented fighter. Stepping in, stepping out, and he just took one from Carbajal, but that's just one. Carbajal not able to put combinations together so far.
Well, things have worked out pretty well for Jorge Arce here in this arena. Good combinations there by Carbajal. He's 12-1-1 here in this city. So clearly things have been good for him here.
Seems more determined to do some damage, getting more aggressive, and Carbajal, although he doesn't have the hand speed as you said he once did, hanging in there and fighting a very cerebral fight so far.
The movement of Arce giving Michael problems, I mentioned.
Oh, that's a big right hand. Knocked him down quickly. At about 125 of round 6, a flash knockdown. We'll see how much damage it did, Al.
I don't know if Arce was hurt or just off balance, and we will find out quickly, won't we? Carbajal wants to find out.
Yes, he does. He's
Arce
burying
is
in.
holding, so you know what? I think Arce was stunned, and his confidence at least was shaken a little bit by that.
There's another one to the right side of Arce's head.
And there finally is a double left hook from Carbajal. We haven't seen that punch much.
Arce trying valiantly to fight back. And Carbajal pulling it out, getting very aggressive. The veteran knows when to step it up.
Not that much time left in this round, but for Michael Carbajal, a huge confidence builder.
Crowd trying to implore Arce on, but Carbajal, you can tell his confidence back. There's a couple of punches that have gotten in. That was an interesting knockdown, to say the least, but apparently it did do some damage. Arce coming back with a jab right on the nose of Carbajal, who's back up against the ropes right now. 10 seconds left. In round 6, Carbajal's best round by a landslide so far.
It has become what we expected, a war of attrition. The first knockdown, interestingly, goes to Carbajal.
Just a quick flash
No lo
knockdown.
hables con agua, espérate, déjalo que respire.
Let him breathe, no more water.
Sí, está bien, está bien.
You saw the right hand that sent him reeling against the ropes, and while Arce looked like he was all right from that punch,
oh,
well, I'll tell you what, when you look at it again from that angle, you realize that it was just the kind of counter right hand we've been seeing, and they had a lot of force, and it was more than a flash knockdown.
Maybe a little bit careless, you think, Al, leaving himself?
Well, he's been careless throughout the fight.
I think so.
And Carbajal hasn't been able to take advantage of it as much as he would like.
Well, here we go, round 7. Things got real interesting in round 6. Let's see if Carbajal can come back and muster up another punch.
And again, the right hand. This is the one chink in Jorge Arce's armor that a veteran like Carbajal has been able to take advantage of. And now Michael Carbajal, you see, he just has one thing on his mind, landing right hands.
Yep, and he wants to do it quickly. Because as you said,
another low blow. I'll tell you
what,
you know, Calles is ignoring this. I think a point needs to be deducted at this juncture from Arce. He is throwing a lot of low punches.
That was at least the second, maybe the third that we've seen, and nothing's been said.
Oh, yeah, more than that even. I mean, he had 2 or 3 early, and then has had 2 or 3 just in the last round.
I'm just talking about the really obvious ones.
Carbajal with a mouse underneath his right eye.
Swelling as we speak.
He's taking a lot of shots in this fight. Now the hand speed of Arce a problem for him right now.
He's a little bit off balance was Arce after throwing that punch. He continues to leave himself open. When he misses big, Carbajal still has a chance.
And Arce shakes his head and says, yeah, you almost got me with that right hand. The crowd urging Jorge Arce on. Again, a low blow. That was out of the range of referee Calles. Now Michael Carbajal is starting to really feel the effect of these punches. It's been a very big 7th round for Arce.
Arce came back the way he had to. Now he's got Carbajal in the corner. They're locked up. Carbajal goes downstairs a little bit. Maybe a little bit too late working downstairs. There was a big right that just missed.
The only thing about the body punches for Carbajal, it will help set up some of those shots to the head. They did in that instance.
Oh, there was a chance to really do some damage as there came that low hook, and Arce once again out left himself open, and it could have been something. But here we go, the good combination, hand speed. Carbajal comes back with another combination, and now he's got him on the ropes.
One thing about Arce, nothing discourages him from going to the body. He is committed to that attack. Very, very intriguing fight. And even though Michael Carbajal isn't quite what he was before, you can see he's still a fighter with some skills and some power. And now, bad swelling around the right eye of Michael Carbajal.
10 seconds left in round 7. Carbajal continues to be busy. Going to have a problem in his course. Another low blow. Not called. Completely ignored.
Wow, I tell you what,
don't know.
Raul Calles, now he says something to Arce. I'm surprised they're not complaining in Carbajal's corner about the low blows. Well, we see Michael Carbajal early in the round landing a good lead right hand, but that was his best moment of the round. Here we see what we believe to be a low blow. Let's take a look. Oh man, that's definitely below the belt line. And again, that's a double hook, both underneath, and Calles did nothing about it. And there is Arce landing some excellent combinations. Carbajal trying to counter punch as he steps backward.
Well, he backed up. That was a prime example of the double low blow, and Calles has yet to say anything about it. He maybe had one word, and now they're asking him to mop up the red corner over here. Calles said a little bit of something to Arce at the end of that round, but I think it's gotten a little bit out of hand at this point.
Well,
to say
I
the
think
least.
we're at the point where a point should be deducted. I don't know that it would make a difference in the fight, but clearly you can't allow Arce to continue to throw low blows, which he is doing. I mean, he's doing enough damage legally to Carbajal. There's another left hand.
Well, the damage is on to the right eye of Arce. Carbajal is showing extreme swelling on his right eye. We're in the 8th round. It's turning out just about the way Al Bernstein thought it would here tonight. The war of attrition. Pretty clear that Carbajal has to do something pretty big at this point for these last few rounds.
Yeah, even with the knockdown, which would make it a 2-point round, he has been on the short end of most of these rounds.
And it was a clean shot, but Arce was able to rally back. Carbajal cutting off the ring a little bit. And there's another low blow.
I don't know what Raul Calles is looking at. Those punches are, you could see the shorts of Carbajal just flap in the breeze as those punches hit.
It's always the same type of punch.
Yeah, it's that left hook that's kind of a half uppercut. And part of the reason is because Carbajal's standing tall and Arce is clinched down.
There's another one.
Yeah, now that one may have bounced off the arm, but still, he's getting those punches down there pretty good.
Crowd imploring Arce to make a night of it, but Carbajal is not cooperating at this point.
I think the swelling under the right eye really bothering Michael Carbajal.
It is not good at this point, and here comes another flash combination from Arce, who's trying to take advantage of limited visibility, which is leading with the jab.
One of the things that you have to really give Jorge credit for is after that knockdown, he kept his composure really well, and he's continued to use the game plan he came out with. Good movement, which gives Carbajal trouble, and still being aggressive from that posture.
And now Carbajal's going to have vision problems out of that right. Well, there's a good right, and Arce acknowledged it, but he stepped right back in.
Michael has been
here we go.
A one-dimensional fighter with that right hand, but here we go with a good exchange between the two fighters.
Coming up, less than 20 seconds left in round 8. Michael Carbajal showing wear and tear in this fight delivered by the young Arce. Crowd beginning to heat up a little bit, hoping that their young champion will step up the attack, and he has. Stepped right into the corner. He's taking a few too from Carbajal, but now a little jawing going on right at the end there, Al.
Well, I don't think those punches are having a big effect on Arce. He is feeling the moment, and he's performing extremely well in front of a very enthusiastic crowd. And you can sense in that corner the confidence that they are having now in his performance. And you see that he is headed into territory, championship territory. Here's the punch that we thought was low. Yeah,
yep.
I mean, how could it be any lower?
Well, the shorts went up halfway up.
And how could you miss it? Here's Michael Carbajal with one of those right hands that was effective for him in the last round. Good one, but I'll tell you what, Arce is handling those powerful right hands now much better than he did earlier.
Well, as you said, we're beginning to see the wear and the tear on the old warrior. And Arce, with those young legs, is not slowing down one bit, and he felt it toward the end of that last round.
You know, I'm sure most of the people viewing this evening are getting their first chance to see Jorge Arce. Even though he's already won a championship, so many of boxing's champions are guys that you don't get to see all the time. And what they're seeing, and I'm sure they're impressed with, is a 21-year-old that while he is not quite the fighter he wants to be, has a lot of skills, has a good chin because he took a tough right hand from Carbajal, and has lots of poise.
Continues to press the attack, and he's shaking that right hand a little bit between exchanges. I don't know what that means. Sometimes it means the hand might sting a little bit, or we'll see, but he continues to do the same things he's been doing all night.
Well, the trick to fighting Michael Carbajal is to be aggressive, but also use lateral movement. You see that Arce doesn't stand right in front of Michael Carbajal. If you're going to stand in front of Carbajal, even an aging Michael Carbajal, you're going to have problems. But if you give him enough lateral movement, he has problems.
Under 2 minutes left. Round 9 of the scheduled 12-rounder. So far, Carbajal taking a lot of punishment, as you can see in the face. There's some blood, a little slippage there. Arce slipped a little bit.
But
and he comes right back.
You see Carbajal was not able to take advantage of it. And I think we're reaching a point in this fight where now Michael Carbajal's window of opportunity is really closing, along with his right eye.
Well, he's faced a buzzsaw tonight, basically. This Arce keeps coming in, backing him into the corner. He's trying to counter punch out of the corner, but there's blood on the trunks of Michael Carbajal right now.
From the left eye. It just opened up about 30 seconds ago. And the other discouraging thing for Carbajal is
to the right from Arce.
Even his power punches are not hurting Arce.
He's in trouble. Grabbing and holding on. The damage is beginning to add up. The referee looks at his eye, and here he comes. That would take long for Arce to jump back on. Carbajal taking some punishment now. And the crowd trying to rally their young champion here in Tijuana.
They sense that he might be closing in on Carbajal and able to get him out of there.
The crowd chanting hard, hard in Spanish. Oh, there was a big punch. Shook the head of Carbajal, and now Arce really looks now like he's trying to get it done.
He wants to get Carbajal out of there, and he's racing in.
Here he comes.
Can't even separate him.
10 seconds left in round number 9. Blood on the shoulder of the champion from the eye of Carbajal.
Say, was it butt? Yeah. Not bad. Andrew, give me the Vaseline, Andrew. I pulled the judges and I'm sorry, a headbutt.
All right. Carbajal's corner talking about a butt, Al. I don't know if I saw it.
Well, I think the referee is saying it was a clash of heads. He indicated it was, and I believe he said that to the judges. So if they would go to the scorecards, or if they would stop this fight at this juncture, it would go to the scorecards, which would probably produce an Arce victory in any case.
Well, let's see if Arce can continue to do what he's been doing. A lot of damage has been inflicted both upstairs and downstairs to Michael Carbajal tonight, and that one just snapped his head back. Arce continues to bore in. We're in the 10th round of a scheduled 12-rounder. We'll see if it goes that far. But Michael Carbajal, a lot of blood. He's having to wipe the blood from his eye with his right hand. Oh, there's another exchange inside. Arce doing a lot of damage. And he's throwing real aggressive punches now, Al. He's feeling it.
And he's used to going, he's been 12 rounds 5 times in his career. Carbajal's been 12 rounds 7 times. So even though he's a youngster, Arce has been this limit before, and there are no big surprises here for him, either in terms of conditioning or what to expect emotionally from these championship rounds.
He seems almost to have gained some strength as we got past the 8th. He's really loading up now. He senses it. He knows Carbajal's had a lot of damage.
I love tactically what he's doing. I mean, strategically, he is fighting as smart a fight as you could against a Michael Carbajal. Instead of standing there in front of him, even though he's getting the better of those exchanges, he still moves around and uses what there is of this ring.
This is an impressive young fighter so far in this bout tonight that may have a few flaws, but not that many that he's inflicted.
He wants very badly to fight Ricardo Lopez, the strawweight champion who is stepping up to junior flyweight, and he wants badly to fight Ricardo Lopez. He thinks that would be a signature fight for him, and it certainly would be if he could win it.
There's a good combination. Now he's swarming inside on Carbajal. Carbajal standing there taking a lot of punishment from the right. Now he's backing up. Carbajal just surviving through that exchange, and once again pouncing on him quickly is Arce.
And now holding is Michael Carbajal.
And Arce's trying to back out of it. We're in the 10th round, less than 30 seconds left, and it's survival time for Michael Carbajal.
You know, there are a couple of good left hooks from Carbajal. That's a weapon he really hasn't used in this fight enough, I don't think.
His face showing the wear and tear of a lot of damage effectively handed out tonight in all kinds of ways from young Jorge Arce.
This fight has been an interesting battle from the beginning. We go back to round 3, where Arce showed his power and his hand speed and his combination punching against Michael Carbajal. We saw signs earlier of how that would be a problem for Carbajal. Then in round 6, here's Carbajal using the counter right hand effectively. And that was the one that sent Arce down in that round. He was able to get up, however, and get back to dominating the action. And here in the 8th round, you see graphic example of how the power and hand speed of Arce was just too much for Michael Carbajal right here at the end of the round. And you can feel the confidence of Arce building.
It has built toward the final rounds. We're into the 11th now, and they continue to work on Carbajal furiously in his corner. He's got problems with both eyes. He certainly doesn't have any problem with his heart. He's taken a lot of punishment and showed a lot of the greatness that he once was 5-6 years ago, as he continues to work and try to find a way against a young fighter who took a great shot and bounced right back up in round 6.
Well, and Alan, you went back to a key point in this fight inappropriately. He was nailed with a big right hand, and Carbajal jumped on him after that. So it wasn't that Carbajal didn't try and go after him, and Arce showed lots of poise, didn't lose his confidence, and was able to get right back into his game plan and fight effectively. Clearly, this is not quite the Michael Carbajal of the past. But I will say this for Carbajal. It's been a gutsy effort, and he's shown flashes of his excellence.
And Arce's shown great footwork all night, continues the movement. You get the feeling, Al, maybe if he wanted to bore in and just start throwing hard punches, he could do it, but he knows that he's done enough so far. If he has to get a decision, certainly here in the bull ring tonight, that he will do it.
Well, and it's also a mistake against Michael Carbajal, because we saw in the counter right hand he threw that when you're stationary in front of Carbajal, it's a problem. Chiquita Gonzalez was stationary for their first fight, ended up losing, and then for their last 2 fights, he moved and he won. Blood again trickling down the eye of Carbajal, though Ganny and his crew did a very good job of stemming the flow of blood.
We're inside a minute and a half left in round 11. Carbajal,
nice right hand
by Carbajal. Carbajal is on top of him, a big right. At 125 of the 11th round, and Arce's in big trouble. Arce is out. The fight has been stopped.
Wow.
A big upset from Michael Carbajal, who hung in and waited for his opportunity, and when he found it, he landed a huge punch. You could feel it all the way across the ring, and Arce was out on his feet, and he was not coming back.
The interesting thing thing is, there was never a knockdown called, and appropriately so by the referee. He was thrown down. But once he stood up, it was obvious to the referee, and no complaints from Arce's corner, that he was in trouble. That was a fascinating and appropriate stoppage. And Michael Carbajal, from nowhere, lands the right hand that had done so well for him early in the fight and hurts Jorge Arce. Wow, and it has silenced this crowd of 15,000 people.
Well, we had some liquid libations come in over our shoulder. People are stunned, certainly Arce's stunned. He was fighting a beautiful fight, Al, but you kept saying he was a little bit loose in some of his attitudes and some of his punches and was being a little bit careless. And as we look at this punch later on, I'm sure that we'll see that Carbajal, the great champion that he is someone to be reckoned with if you're going to leave your chin sitting out there like that.
Well, and you know, Carbajal hung in and hung in and hung in, and you see him giving advice to this young man. It's the kind of guy Michael Carbajal is. I'm sure he's saying to him, hey, hang in there. You're a good young fighter. You're an excellent young fighter. Don't think this is the end of the line or a problem.